Hi everyone, it's Ileana and I have another card to share with you today. This is a card I made for a baby shower that I attended. I'm going to be using my mini MISTI on this card today. I've pulled out my Lawn Fawn plaid paper and I've just trimmed that down with my stitched rectangle die from Lawn Fawn. I'm placing this Simon Says stamp ring frame die where I want it to go, and I'm just using a little bit of Post-it to hold it down so that it cuts exactly where I want. I've placed my card base and the die cuts along with one that I cut out in white onto the base of the MISTI, and I'm just using my magnets to hold it down. That'll give me an idea of where I need to put my photopolymer stamps. I like doing it this way because then I don't have to draw circles or mark where the area is because I'll know that with my MISTI I'll be able to put these stamps exactly where I want them. I'm filling in the gaps with some of the critters that are in this Mama Elephant New Family stamp set. And once I have the placement, I'll go ahead and I will close the lid of the mini MISTI and pick up all my stamps. Now I can move my pattern paper and my die cut out of the way, and I can stamp with my Memento black ink since I'll be doing some Copic coloring. And I noticed that one of the little words on the sentiment didn't stamp as well as I liked, and so I went ahead and re-inked it and stamped again. So now I'm going to color these little critters. And I didn't show the Copic coloring just because it was just such a small area. And so it didn't take very long, so I just colored them in and continued making my card. So I'm placing the panel on the front of my card, and I'm noticing that my panel is upside down. So I'm pulling it apart, and I'm trying to be very careful. What I should have done was I should have stamped it with my black Versamark ink and then embossed it, but I forgot to do that, and so I had to do it afterwards. So now that my panel is on there, now I'm going to go back, and this is where I use my black onyx ink. I like to do over stamping with the black onyx because it's really dark black ink, and I think it just adds just a pop to those colored images. It just adds quite a bit to it, especially when you put the clear embossing powder over it. And since I didn't put any adhesive that close to the edges, it just flicks off, and I'm just making sure that there's none stuck underneath the circles. And I'm just going to heat those up. I did see a card made by Laura Basson where she made a shaker card, so that was my inspiration to make this card. What she did was that she traced the die and then cut it out with scissors, and I tried doing that and it just kept moving. So what I did was I sprayed my die with some spray adhesive, and then I just dropped it onto my transparency, and then I just trimmed around it, and I thought that was pretty easy. It was a little tedious, but it got it done, and I knew that my little die was stuck perfectly straight on there. Now I'm just filling some of the open holes with some Martha Stewart sequins, or whatever these things are called. And I can never figure out how much I need to put in any shaker card. I either put too much or I put too little. And so it's just something that I struggle with. It's not a big deal. But I did forget to use my embossing tool, my little embossing buddy, to take some of the sticky away from the edges of the inside of my die cut. And so the sequins kind of stick to the edge, but it's okay. I did layer up all of those white pieces of the die cut that you saw earlier, and just to create some dimension. And you'll be able to see it in one of the pictures I show at the end of the video, how they're all layered up. And I didn't notice at the time that the inside part of the plaid that goes inside that piece right underneath the sentiment, I didn't notice that it was missing. And I actually lost one of the pieces, and I went back and I die cut another piece just to try to get it to go in. And then after I went through all that trouble, I found the little piece. And so I ended up going back and adding it to the end. I did add some multi-matte medium to the circles, and I went back and I added my transparency to the front of the card, and I just weighted it down with an acrylic black. So this is where I actually went back and I found that little missing piece, and I wanted it to be in there because it actually matched the pattern of the card. And so I'm just trying to shove it in there. Because of the layers of the die, it was a little tough, but I got it in there with a little orange stick. And that is the card. You can see the dimension there. Thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to hit subscribe and head on over to the blog. Have a great day.